Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 30th. So let's see today's agenda. We will quickly go through the previous session overview. We'll talk about, yesterday we have started the use case of the workflow. We will continue today and what is the limitations of the workflows. And we will a little bit talk about the process builder. Process builder is slowly going out, but I just wanted to give you the introduction in case if you get any client who or any company who are still using the process builder, in case if they wanted to migrate it, or if client has raised any issue, we should understand where is the issue in the process builder and homework in the process builder. Then we will talk about the automation tool, differences between the workflow and process builder and lightning flows, and then how to migrate a flow. So this is the topic that we are going to discuss today. Now, last class we have seen about the use case. So we have started implementing the workflows. So on the position object, whenever the position object is created, we need to notify hiring manager. We need to notify the hiring manager. So immediate action is email alert upon assigning the position record. Right? So this is we have seen, and also we will see that. So whenever the position is created, that means as soon as the position record is created with the status new, and if HR email ID is not equal to null, then we are going to see the information here, right? So it is going to send an email. So it has to be mandatory information is milestone date should not be null, HR email ID should not be null, status equal to new. For example, as soon as the record is sent and we have informed the hiring manager, then I wanted to update the position status new to in progress. New to in progress. Now, that is also immediate action. So let's go for a workflow. Workflow rules. So click on continue. And let's open the new position. And here, this is the one which we have created yesterday. In case if you want appeal to be updated, then you can click on the edit. And here, there is an email alert action is already there. And if you want to update the new field update, immediate action, you can do the new field update. So let's say that position status. Now here I wanted to update the position status from new to in progress. Right click on is save. Now while if you observe this, while creating this position status, we have something called re-evaluate workflow rule after the field change. In case after changing this field, you wanted to re-execute the workflow. Check this. Right, so what will happen if the field is updated and change the field value at workflow rule on the associated object, re-evaluated. That means any workflow rule whose criteria is result as a field update. Now, if you have any other workflow which is depending on this in progress, if you wanted to re-evaluate that particular workflow, then we can check this so that it will be re-evaluated. What are the workflow which is looking for the condition and the evaluation condition, then that one will be executed. Right, so yesterday we have seen the actions, email alert we have seen. So there are a few more field update, assigning a task and outbound message. Right, email alert which we have seen, field update is, so just now we are doing the field update. So for the field update, to update the field value, old value to new value, then we can use the field update. Each field update action is used to update only one field value. You cannot update the multiple fields here. Whenever you are creating the field update, you can choose only one field and you can update only one field value. In field update action, you cannot add multiple fields here. You cannot add multiple fields. You have to add only one field. In case if you want a multiple fields to be added, then you have to create a multiple field update actions. Multiple field update actions. So maximum we can add 40 actions here. Right, so to update the multiple field, to add a multiple field update, we need to add the multiple, how many we want, those many update field update actions in the workflow rule, we have to add it. So if you keep on adding the field update like that, so what will happen, it is going to make your workflow is more complicated because you don't know which field gets executed first. Now you have added the 15 field updates. Out of 15 field updates, you don't know which field gets updated first because there is no sequence there. So it will be a bit complicated and also there will be a performance issue. So that this is one kind of limitations in the workflow. And it always recommended to use the Apex program in case if you have a 10 fields you are updating or a more than one field you are updating it. So better to go for a Apex programming trigger. So whenever the record is edited or updated or modified, anything which we are doing it, which has to be done with the Apex programming. So which we will see in our coming days. And the third one is assigning a task. So this is basically we have in the object, we have a task. Beside the activity, you have a one tab called task, right? So by using this action, we can assign a task record to the required users, which reminds the people pop-up alert. So we have a task in the object. If you go to the any object, right? So here, this is the task. So whether you wanted to create a new task or any task, like from the workflow, you can add task here so that people will get an alert message. Now here you have an action which is called as a new task. So if you add anything here on the position record, you want to assign this task to somebody. So let's say that this is the person I wanted to update. Now new position is created. New position is created. And due date is somebody has to act it. Milestone date. Or let's say if you want to take any other date, you can take it. So usually this is a date format. So you have an open date. So from the open date plus, if you want to add a 2 days, then you can add a 2 days. Protected component, like if you do not want to see anybody, like whoever is created or whoever it is assigned, only that person should be able to see, right? So it is a protected. And status is not started. If you want to change the status to non-started or in progress, let's keep it as a non-started. Priority is a normal. Now let's create the save button. So that's about the task. So right now on the immediate action, we have a 3 actions: field update, email alert, task. Right? Similarly, we have something called as an outbound message. Outbound message is by using this action, we can send XML based SOAP message. XML based SOAP message to external system. That means you will not be writing any code of this. You will not be writing any code. You have to just choose the fields. What are the fields that needs to be sent it to? Now you specify here, select the field, like I wanted to send it to count, HR, email ID, manager. Now you just need to choose the what are the fields that you wanted to send it to the another person, right? So these are the information that we wanted to send. Now simply select this, and it's a again, so protected is yesterday's Balu asked, right? So protected is it's like a I'm protecting from everybody not to open anything. Like this is a whoever is having a access, they can only view that. Now send a session ID if you wanted to send in that specific session, right? So you can use that. So just need to select all these things. Then automatically what Salesforce does is Salesforce will automatically take these fields and take the configuration pieces. Take the configuration, what are the configuration we have selected here. Based on that, it will build, Salesforce itself is going to build the XML based SOAP message. You will not be writing anything. You will not be writing anything. Right, so this will be generated by the Salesforce. The fourth one is outbound message. By using this action, we can send an XML based SOAP message to the external system to have the integration with the third party system. Now, whoever is taking the notes, please take the notes. Okay, let me know once it is done. Okay, so let's move on. Now, another scenario which we have in the workflow is time dependent. So far, we have seen immediate action. The time dependent also we have. Time dependent is basically where you can, based on the certain time, like yesterday I have given an example, like if you want to, after 10 days or before the milestone of 10 days, you wanted to send an email. So in that case, let's click on the edit button. Let's deactivate this. Whenever the workflow is active, you cannot add the time dependent workflows. Now click on the edit button here. Now add time trigger. Now it says that whenever you are adding the time trigger, so it asks like a 10 days before. Now, for example, 10 days before the position status date. What are the milestone date is there? Right, 10 days before milestone date, click on a save. I wanted to send an email alert. Now here it is added 10 days before the position milestone date. So what do I need to perform it? I wanted to send an email, like an alert message. You need to still have not updated anything. So this is a first alert message. First alert message. Email template, you can choose any email template. Yesterday we have chosen the email template for the customer emails. Now let's say this is the email to HR on creation of the position. We are going to send it to the HR email ID. So whatever we have created yesterday, that's exactly the same. And click on a save. So this is a 10 days before the position milestone date. Right, so this is one first alert message. Like that, we can create a 5 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before, right? On that day, right? On that day. So let's go ahead and create a one more. Add a time trigger. So that is the 10 days before. Now again, I'm going to add a 2 days before, 2 days before the milestone. Now I'll be adding the 2 days before milestone, another email we have to send it. Similarly, I'll be adding them on the same day. Let's say here it is 0 days before and milestone date. Click on the save button. Now on that day, what should be happen? Sending another email. Now let's add one more thing. After 1 day, after the what are the milestone is there? After the milestone is crossed, milestone date is crossed, and after 1 day, I wanted to simply change the position status. Like here, I can add field update, new field update. I can update the position status, close position status. Now here it is a position status, and this is closed. Click on a save. Right, so these are the actions how you can create it. So this time dependent workflows does not happen immediately. It does not happen immediately. Now once I create the position record, these all actions will happen. These all actions will happen. But what are the 10 days before of the milestone? Like if I give a 30 days of while creating the position record, if my milestone date is 30 days, right? It's a 1 month or a 2 months period of the milestone date. So what will happen whenever the time 10 days is before the 10 days, whenever the milestone is reaching it, before the 10 days, immediately one alert automatically it goes out. One alert, it automatically goes out. So for example, right now we have created a position here, created a new position. New position. As soon as the new position is created, there is an immediate action that happens. Immediate action that happens. As soon as the record is created, immediate action happens. So on the immediate action is sending an email alert and updating the position status. Position status field, and then task, creating the task. Creating task. So these three things which happened, right? So it has to be happen on the immediate action. Now, whenever the position is created, there is a milestone which is created here. Milestone which is created, milestone end date. milestone end date. So for milestone end date, it has a certain time period, right? So once it is goes to that time period, and at the end, whenever it reaches the end date of the position, that means they are closing the position, right? Almost end date. Ended in between this, what will happen? Like if it is a 30th, if it is a 30th is the last day that position is closing. That means on 20th day. Here it is on 20th day. On 20th day, we will be sending one email alert, which is a time dependent. Which is a time dependent. Email. So which goes automatically on the 20th day. After that, before the 30th of like a 5 days before it. Now, for example, on 25. So whenever it reaches to the 25 date is reached to the 25, we will be sending another time dependent. We will be sending another time dependent email alert. And on the same day, the day which is reached on the same day, we will be sending another email. We have already reached kind of a time dependent email alert. We will be doing it. On the same day also, we will be sending another email alert. Then after the 30th day, that means after 1 day, the position is crossed. After 1 day, it will simply update the position status. It will simply update the position status to closed. Update position status to closed. This is also time dependent. Time dependent action. Right, so this is the exact flow how it happens in the workflow. Right, so this is the flow. On creation of the position, what has to be happened? Now, before, like every time, whenever there is it is not updated or they have not changed anything, then every 10 days or every 20 days, I wanted to send an email alert to the person. So in that case, what we can do is we can send an email or we can send a time dependent email there. Now, similarly, on the same day, what needs to be happen after 1 day, what needs to be happen? Everything is automated. Everything is automated. Now, so that's what we have implemented here. But right now we can see only the immediate action, Time dependent workflow actions cannot be seen. Time dependent workflow actions cannot be seen. Now let's move on. Homework, configure a workflow rule on the case object to notify the case owner upon creating a new high priority case record. New high priority case record. Now case status equal to new and case priority equal to high. So take a notes of homework. Is everybody done? Okay, so let's move on. Now, workflow, it was introduced in 1993 and it continued till 2015, right? So the reason there are some drawbacks or limitations on the workflow. There are some drawbacks or limitations on the workflow. So let's see what are those limitations. So by using this workflow, we can automate the 4 actions, whatever is mentioned. We know that email alert, assigning the task to the user, update the field in the record, or send an outbound message to the external system, right? We have another option which is called as a use the existing workflow. Use the existing workflow. So select the existing action. That means if you have any action that is already defined in another workflow or in this workflow, you wanted to reuse that action, then you can select the existing action. This is another option. Now, only these things can be done. Apart from this, I cannot perform any other. Like I cannot update the cross-reference field of what are the cross object fields are there, I cannot update it. Right? If I wanted to update the hiring manager records, I cannot update the hiring manager records from the workflow. Now, if I go to the field update, does it really show me the hiring manager records or is it showing me only the current object? Right now it is showing me the current object. So object is a position. So only in the position, right? Only in the position object I can see. Not even lookup field also I cannot see. Lookup field is also I cannot see. Only the current position object we can see. So if I wanted to update the hiring manager details, I cannot update it. I cannot update it. So only these 4 actions can be done through the workflow. If I wanted to go beyond that, we cannot do that. And workflow will not support for a DML operation to perform the object. When I say DML operation, update is possible, but insert, creating a record, deleting a record, undeleting a record, these are not possible. Except the update, no other DML operations cannot be supported. No other DML operations cannot be supported. Only the update is possible. We can update the field, but other DML operations cannot be supported. Like I cannot create a record. I cannot delete a record. I cannot do undelete a record, right? I cannot update the cross object field, right? So that is another limitation. And the third limitation is by using the workflow, we can update the field in the object by using the field update action. But workflow can have a maximum of immediate action, which can be allowed maximum of 40 workflow actions. That means 40 fields you can add it. If you add 40 fields, then it is more complicated, or you are making the workflow is complicated, or the performance issue, something will happen. Right? Now here the cross-reference object is, the next point is cross-reference object data is not updated. Cross-reference object data is not, we are not able to update it here. The reason for this is if you go edit object. Right, if I go to the fields and relationship, now what is a hiring manager? Hiring manager is a lookup relationship. If it is a lookup relationship, it will not support. It will not support your cross-field object, right? So it cannot be supported. So workflow supports the cross objects update from the child to parent, which are associated with the master detail association. If you have a lookup, it will not be. Only when you have a master detail association, that time only it supports the cross object field. Then only it supports the cross object. Otherwise, it does not. Take a notes of it. Done? Okay. Now, few of the governor limits on the workflow rules. We can have maximum of 500 workflow rules per object. Right? Now this is the limitation, but again within this, out of 500, only 50 workflows can be active. Only 50 workflows can be active. It is allowing us to create a 500 workflow rules per object. But as per the standard, the real time, only 50 workflow rules can be active. Now, rest other 450, you can make it deactive. It won't work. More than 50, it won't work. So 500 includes active workflows, inactive workflows, both. So 50 active status, active status at a time on the object. Second. So if we want like a per object, 500 workflows, means in the organization level, how many workflows can be created? If you look at the organization wise, we can create maximum of 2000 workflow rules, 2000 workflow rules in an organization. Right? If you want to look at per object, it's a 50, right? 50 should be active. Now, overall organization wise, 2000 active workflows. And out of this, only again for each object, that means each workflow can have a maximum of 40 actions. Again, it's divided into each workflow. Each workflow rule can have maximum of 40 immediate actions. This is the Gartner limits of the workflow. By considering all these limitations, Salesforce has came up with a new concept called Process Builder in 2015. In 2015, they have came up with a new functionality called as a Process Builder. Task is the insert operation. But are you able to, it's a DML operation within the object, right? Whatever the object you are performing it, that object is, are you able to insert the record? Like I wanted to insert a position record, or I wanted to create a new hiring manager record. I cannot create a records, right? Task is that is action. It is an action. So that is insert, but it is actually action inserting it the task, right? It's not actually the object. Now, whenever we talk about the DML operations, we always talk the DML operations on the object level. object level, we talk about it. Now, move on. So in 2015, Salesforce has introduced Process Builder by looking at all the limitations that we have. Now, to overcome above the limitations, whatever we have discussed, Salesforce has provided the Process Builder tool. Now, Process Builder tool is a graphical representation tool, right? Which is used to automate the complex operations inside the organization. So when it released in the 2015, everybody was liking the Process Builder because it has a very good graphical representation. It have a proper structure, if else condition kind of a things it was there. So everybody is started using the Process Builder, and it supports everything, whatever all the actions are there within the workflow, everything can be supported except the outbound message. Now you can do the outbound message. I cannot say that completely Process Builder does not support the outbound message. It can support it. If you go through the Apex workflow, what is it is doing through the workflow itself, you can send the outbound message, right? Without the Apex involvement, you can send the outbound message. But here, Process Builder does not have a direct option outbound message. But if you want to implement, you can go ahead and implement in the Apex, and you can call that Apex method, and we can do the outbound message. So there is an alternate solution, but direct way it is not possible through the Process Builder. Direct way, it is not possible. It is not possible through the Process Builder. So along with this 4 actions, along with this 3 actions, email alert, right? Update a field and creating a task. Along with these actions, Process Builder also has a few actions which are email alert, creating a record, updating a record, post to chatter. Like if you want to post something, you can post it, trigger Apex code, submit a record for approval, send custom notification, invoke a flow, invoke a process, add the quick action. These are the different actions which can be performed through the Process Builder. These are the few of them which you can perform through the Process Builder. Right, so there are a few other also there, we will see that. Now let's see the use case. With the use case, let's go ahead and implement one of the Process Builder. Now use case is configure a process on the hiring manager object. Configure a Process Builder on the hiring manager object to notify the hiring manager upon creating a new HR record in the object with the designation HR manager. That means we have to create a Process Builder on the hiring manager. I need to create a Process Builder on the hiring manager. Now, what is the things? Why should I need to create on the hiring manager? To notify hiring manager. Whenever we are creating a hiring manager, we need to inform the hiring manager whenever the designation is HR manager. Whenever the designation is HR manager, we need to notify the hiring manager that there is a record is created. Now let's go ahead and implement, and the navigation steps for implementing the Process Builder. Now let's go here, home. Let's go for the Process Builder. Click on the Process Builder. Search for a Process Builder and select that Process Builder option. Now, this is the screen, the first time you will see. Now, if you observe here, Salesforce is always suggesting us go with the flow builder. Go with the flow builder. So it is the intimation it is giving us, information it is giving that in future, it's a kind of an indirect information to the developer. Do not create the Process Builder. In future, everything is going to go for a flows. So just go for a flow builder. Try for the flow builder instead of this. process builder, right? So that's the reason in the companies, everybody started using the flows. Now click on a new button here. Whenever I click on a new button, again it is suggesting me to go for a flow. But right now, let's go with the process builder. Just see how the process builder is there. Now, what are we doing is we are notifying the hiring manager, HR manager, right? So notify HR manager on creation of record. And this is my process builder name. And here it asks three things. Do you want to execute this process builder on record change? On a record change, or do you want to execute on a platform event message is received? So we have something called platform event, right? So platform event is whenever third party is sending or within the Salesforce itself, whenever there is actions are happening, I want one event should be running at the back end. As soon as there is any updates are happen, event immediately capture that event and process the other things. So that means there is an event that keeps on running. It's kind of a event is nothing but kind of a setting. Whoever does not understand event, some kind of a machine or some kind of a setting, it is running at the back end. As soon as there is something is fired, then immediately this platform event will be hearing it and it will process the information. Or else it is invoked by another process. That means you have a one process builder. You have one process builder. There is a one process builder which is right. This is the process builder 1. And this is the process builder 2. Now these two are a different process builder. These two are different process builder. These two are different process builder. So whenever this process builder 1 is completed, immediately I wanted to fire another process builder. And once this is completed, I wanted to fire another process builder, which is a PP3. Now, if you want this kind of a chaining process builder, then what you can do is you can select the third option, which is called as it is invoked by another process. It is invoked by another process. Now select the record changed, click on a save button. Now, so this is how you will see start, add the object, add the criteria. If this condition is true, then execute this side, immediate action. Then you have a time dependent action. So if it is a true, you can perform an immediate action. You can perform a time dependent action. If it is a false, then you check another criteria. You can check another criteria. If it is a false, you cannot perform an immediate action or a scheduled action. Only immediate action and time dependent action can be performed whenever the condition is true. Whenever the condition is true, that time we wanted to check. Now here the add object, it is asking us to add the object. Click on this and object is hiring manager. We are building the process builder on the hiring manager. Now it is asking that only when a record is created or when the record is created and edited. The evaluation, when this event should be firing it. When this event should be firing it. When this process builder event should be firing it. What is the scenario for this when it should be firing it? So on creation of record or on creation as well as the update the record. So let's say on creation of the record. And advanced is, it is just a recursion. In case if you want to allow the process to evaluate a record multiple times, re-execute the process builder multiple times, right, in single save operation. Now never do this. Otherwise, what will happen is it keep on executing it. right? But if you have some scenarios where you wanted, again, you wanted to execute the process builder, then only you can do this. This is very rare scenarios where we use this checkbox. Click on save. Now, right now, I'm just giving the information, right, how the process builders are created, because in future, the process builders will go away. But you should be knowing it, what was there, because we still have a time of 1 year. In 2025, process builders will completely stop. But by that time, client might say that there is some issues in the process builder. So that's the reason we are coming up with the process builder here. Now, criteria. What is the criteria? What is the action? Action is I wanted to send an email. That is this action. But before sending an action, what is the criteria that you wanted to check? Now here, is it HR manager? Is it HR manager? That means I need to check the designation field here. Designation, insert, equals to pick list, select the HR manager. HR manager. Now here operators, there are many operators are there. Equals to, does not equal to, start with, end with, contains, is null, is changed. Similarly, we have a different types are available. Pick list means if your field is a pick list, automatically it will display as a pick list. But in case if you want a field reference, that means you wanted to add a kind of a field reference, some field you wanted to reference here, then you can add a field reference. Global constant, that means, for example, if you want to check if the value is not equal to null, or if it is not empty, then you can check null or does not equal to empty, right? So, and the next one is a formula. So formula is similar to the formula field. Similar to the formula field. Now, hiring manager designation, this should be equal to the position designation. Now, you wanted to check the get the related one is there. The cross object is there. So get the cross object field and add it here. So you can, if you want to add a field, click on this field. And then function, you can click on this function. What is the functions needs to be used? If you remember, in the formula field, we have used a functions, right? Advanced, date time, logical, math, text, right? If you go for the logical, so you have a and, blank, case, if condition, right? These are the functions you can use it. These are the system variables. In case if you want to use the system variables, you wanted to get the current user, or you wanted to get the organization details. Organization, latitude, longitude, you wanted to get the details, and the operator. This one is similar to the formula field. Similar to the formula field. Once you have built the formula, you can say that this is use this formula field so that the formula will be populated here. Now, in this case, I'll go with the pick list. It's a HR manager. And let me add one more field. Now, here we have a HR manager. Let's go to the HR manager, hiring manager. Now, email address is mandatory for me, and designation should be there. Email address and location. Let's say email address. Let's say location, because the location is whatever the location is, the position location. Right here, I have a position location. Now let's check here. Now, first one, I'm checking the hiring manager. Email address should not be null. Now I cannot write a null here. We need to use the global constant. For global constant, either you use null or empty string. I'll say here null. right? So this is not equal to null, does not equal to global string null. You can write this, or else what you can say is null. Is null. If you select a is null, it has to be yes, this, it should not be a true. It should not be a true. Right, either you can go with a does not equal to, then select here global constant, then select the null. It should not be equal to null, or else here select a is null, boolean false. Now the third one is, for example, I'm going with the location. So location is, you can select a pick list, or if you want a formula, you can select a formula, or a field reference, you can select the field reference, or as global constant. Let's not add this, more complicated. Now the second one is conditions. Do you want to go for a AND condition? 1 and 2, or 1 or 2, 1 or 2, and then customize a logic. This and or is basically whatever we have seen in the formula field. It's the same concept, and concept or concept. Right? If you want to go with a custom logic, you can implement your own custom logic, like 1 and 2. Or if you want to, few more conditions are there. In that case, you can say or. Now here 3 or 4. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Like this, you can put a customized logic. You can customize your own logic. Now, right now I'm going with the AND condition. Click on a save. Now let's say, is it a HR manager? If it is yes, then the immediate action. Immediate action is, there are different actions we can perform it. I can call the Apex method, I can call it, Apex method I can call it, or else I can create a report, send an email, I can call the flow, lightning flows, post to charter, right? I can post to charter. Post to charter is nothing but if you go home or a charter, you have a charter, right? In the charter, you have a specific groups are available. You have a specific groups are available. So those specific groups, what you can do is you can add the group. Now you can mention here what are the groups are there. You can post the some charting like a usually how you does it in the Facebook, right? Let's say that development team is working on the automation tool. Automation tool, click on a share button. So this is what we are posting it. If somebody like it, they can like this. Now in your organization, in the real time, it is possible that there are multiple use clients, right? Client side admin team or the different team, support teams or a marketing team, different teams will be there. So whenever the team is performing it, so they will post some action here. So other teams also can see and like it, whatever they are liking it, they can say that, yes, I liked it, right? So whenever they liked it, there is a one option which says here, highlighted with the liked option. Like this, or if somebody wants to comment, they can comment. So these all actions can be happen post to charter. Process, you can process like if there is if you select this process, it will ask you to find an invocable process. You have to find an invocable process. Now quick action, you wanted to add a quick action here. Quick, we never use this quick. Send a custom notification. Now, instead of an email alert, you wanted to build your own custom notification. Now you can build and send the custom notification. Submit for approval. If you want to submit for approval process, updating the record. These are the different options which are available. Let's go with the email alert. Now, whenever I'm selecting here email alert, whenever I'm selecting the email alert, what it is saying that select the existing email alert for the object that this process is associated with it. Now, I do not have any email alert. I do not have any email alert. We have an email templates. We have an email templates, but we do not have an email alert. Let me show you that. Before that, let's save this. Cancel. And process builder. Right, so email alert. Let me show you the email alert. See, email templates is a different, email alert is a different. Template is a draft. Template is a draft. Now you can create a draft, but email alert is nothing but it is going to ask you the template details, what are the template details are there, and it is going in the email. Okay, let's click on here, new email alert. Now this email alert is what we have seen in the workflow. That's the same. So basically we need to create an email alert for the process builder. Without creating an email alert, I cannot call this. I cannot call the template. I cannot call the template. So let's say that this is the email template. Now I'm going to use some email template here. Customer email, onboarding hiring manager, object is a hiring manager. This is onboarding. HR manager. And who should be the recipient? Recipient is what are the email address which is available on the object, that is the email address. Click on a save. Now I have created the email alert. Now let's go ahead and use this email alert. Now click on this. Whenever the process builder is created, it always adds the version. It always adds the version. Now it considers the version 1, whether it is active or not. Now let me go ahead. Right now we have not activated it. I can open this process builder version 1 and I can edit this and let's say email alert. Now here I can see that onboarding is an email alert. So here it is, onboarding HR email, HR manager. HR manager email. Click on save. Right, so this is the immediate action. This is the immediate action. Now, like that, if you want to update a time dependent, we'll see that later. Let's click on this activate. Let's click on activate. Confirm activates. Now it is activated. Now it is activated. view all process. Now click on here, version 1, notify HR manager, creation of a record, HR manager on which object, HR manager object, process type, record change, and last modified is this one, status is active. Now if I create any other hiring manager, let's go to the create hiring manager. Now let's take an existing one and let's take a clone of it. Right, so let's create a new one. Image, and this is some number. I'm using the same email address. I'm using the same email address. Location is Hyderabad. And this is HR manager. Click on it, save. Now, as soon as the record is created, there will be an email which goes to the what are the email addresses there? It goes to them. It says, dear Imaja, welcome on board and joining our organization. Right, so we are pleased to inform you that your HR record has been created in our portal, and this is the HR manager ID, manager name, location, designation. Right, this is the template that we have created in the previous session. Now I have used that template. Right now they are receiving the email. So it just received 0 minutes before. 0 minutes before. Right. So for example, I have already created the process builder. Now I forgot to make some changes. So I need to modify it. How can I modify it? Let's click on this. Now if I click on this, will I be able to modify anything? It's everything is disabled. Everything is disabled. So what we need to do is click on a clone. Click on clone, and it says that these details say as it is. Click on a save. So what will happen if you go back to the view all process? It creates the another version. Whatever the previous version is there, it will be same version 1. It will be creating the another version, which is a version 2. HR manager, right? So it is creating the another version with a copy of previous version. So click on this latest version. And then now if you want to add anything here, time dependent, for a time dependent, 10 days, like a 1 day after created date. 1 day after created date, click on a save. Now what do I need to perform? I wanted to perform the, let's say, update a record. But I can update it. Right, so let's go ahead and see update a record. Now I wanted to update the select the hiring manager record that is shared for a process, or select the reports related to the hiring manager. So if you select the first one, what will happen? You have selected the following objects. Hiring manager object. If you select this one, right, within the hiring manager, if you want to select any other, like there are different options which are available. Position or record is there. Now you have chosen this position or record, choose it. Now you are updating the position record. Now click on here. Now it says that whatever the position is connected to that, you can update the details. Now let's take the hiring manager, choose it. Now I wanted to update the Instead of update, let's say that email alert. I wanted to, after 1 day, I wanted to send another email alert. So what is that email alert? Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. Let me update the report. I do not have any fields to update it here. One is the location, hiring manager name, contact number, or current CTC. Only these options are available. There is no other field to update it. Let's take a task. Click on a task. Now task. Status, I wanted to update it to the in progress. Right, so this is updated task. After 1 day, he has to start working on it. Click on save. Right, so like this, you will be keep on adding. So far you have it like this, you can add it maximum. In the real time, we add 5 schedule actions, right? 5 schedule actions. 5 is more than enough for the real time. So this is how we create it. This is how we create it. And what are the 1 day after has to be performed? It is performed. Now, what are the time dependents are there? This is somebody has created, developer has created it. But how client will know that? What are the time dependent actions? From where they can know that? So they can go to the setup, search for a time dependent. Search for time dependent. Click on this time-based workflow. Time-based workflow. Now here you can search. If you blindly search it, nothing will come here. Now, for example, I wanted to search with the equal to, let's say, position object. I wanted to know, is there any time-based workflows or time-based options are there on the position object? On the position object. Let me search workflows, process builder. We have not activated the workflow. Continue the workflow. It's not active, let's activate it. Click on activate. Okay, so whenever we activate it, it is asking some details here. So if you want a default workflow user or email approver, or you wanted to enable, this is the process automation settings. These are the Salesforce standards. If you want to enable this, you can enable. Right, so the reason here is when we go to the workflow, what did we add in the workflow? So workflow rules, let me 2 days before the process, nothing is there here. So let me edit this and simply delete this. delete the 2 days before. And on the same day, I'll just delete it. Okay, 10 days before, after 1 day, we have a certain actions are available. Now click on this, done, activated. The default workflow user must be before activating the rule. Whatever the default workflow user is there, he has to be activated before activating the rule. So process automation. So this is the default workflow user. You need to add a default workflow user here. So let's add the default workflow April batch. It is suggesting me to activate the process automation settings. Click on a save. Now, right now it is activated. Now, if I go back to the time dependent, now let's go ahead and create a one position object. Let's create a position object. Salesforce integration. Click on this here, clone. I'm creating the object for creating the position for lightning aura. Rest all details are saved. Click on your save button. Now the position record is created. Now let's go for workflow actions. So it says new position record. New position record rule, lightning aura. There is it is scheduled time is on 20th. 20th, 12 a.m. 01/12 a.m. Thread 2, scheduled items, time dependent actions are there. Scheduled, time dependent actions too are there. So what are the positions that I have created? Milestone date is 30th. Milestone date is 30th of June. So that means 10 days before there is a one action which is created, and after the 30th, that means 1st of July, there is another action which is created. Another action which is created. Similarly, any time dependent, if you want, you can cross verify here. Whether it is a workflow or whether it is a process builder or a lightning flow, everything can be visible here. Everything can be visible here. These time dependent actions, whatever the work actions are there here, this will be shown if the record is active. If the record is active, that means if I delete this record, if I delete this position record, lightning aura record, I'm deleting it. As soon as the record is deleted, all my related time-based actions, whatever is there, everything gets deleted automatically. Everything gets deleted automatically. So there won't be nothing. But if I bring back now from the recycle bin, let's go to the recycle bin. Now if I bring this lightning aura, if I select this and let's say that restore. As soon as I click on a restore, is my actions, whatever the actions are there, workflow time dependent actions, or whether it is a process builder or a lightning flow, whatever the actions are there, will those actions also will be reverted back. Let's go ahead and check this. Click on insert, nothing is there. Even if you select the object also, nothing will be visible. Right, so you cannot see anything. As soon as the record is deleted, all the time dependent actions will be deleted. If you revert back again, You cannot even see any time dependent action for that particular record. You cannot see any other actions for that particular record. Now, whatever the position record that we have reverted, lightning aura, right? So it says here, nothing has happened, but I cannot see my time based because it might have deleted and reverted the back changes. It might have deleted and reverted the back changes. Whenever it is deleted and restored, we do not have a history tracking. We do not have history tracking. Whenever somebody deletes this and immediately they revert back, then what will happen is we do not have any kind of a history, whether this is a deleted and it is restored, those kind of information we cannot capture. So client sometimes raises that this record is created, but we cannot see any time-based actions, and there is no time-based actions did not happen. The reason is there is some changes might have happened on the record. It might have deleted and restored back, but we cannot say that option to client because nowhere it says that somebody has deleted and restored it. We cannot see those kind of a tracking information anywhere. We cannot see the tracking information anywhere. So that's a tricky part of it. So, but we need to handle this. Any questions so far? So let's take a homework. Configure a process builder on an account object to create a related contact record for the account. So you need to create a related contact for the account and synchronize the account record details into the contact record. And here the criteria is account industry equal to banking, active equal to yes, contact last name equal to account name. And finally, account to business phone equal to contact business phone equal to account business phone. Account name equal to contact account name equal to account ID. So whenever the account is created, you have to create a related contact also. Right, this is the assignments. Take a notes of it. So global constant is whenever you wanted to check, like specific field is not equal to null, like milestone date not equal to null. Now, how can you write this not equal to null? In the process builder, if you say milestone, you have a string value, and then after that you have a one more option where you need to enter the data. If you say string null, it does not consider. If you do not give anything here, it does not consider. In that case, global constant is going to help you that if it is not equal to null, if you wanted to check any field which is not equal to null or is empty, in those scenario, we use the global constant. Clear? Yes, in order to check whether the specific value is available or not. Validation, kind of a validation, whether my field is empty or not. If we create the workflow or a process builder under the conditions of a created and updated, then if you delete the restore, will this reflect the time dependent? Yes, definitely it will restore. Whenever you restore it, it will definitely does it. So what you have to do is you have to rerun the the specific from the time dependent one, what you need to do is you need to, from the code level, you need to execute certain logic in order to execute the time dependent, time-based actions. In the time-based, time-dependent action, if you are creating a record or updating a record. So if you have deleted the record and restored back, definitely your time, because the logic that we have written is on creation of the record, fire this immediate action, fire this time-dependent action. If you would have said that fire this event on the created as well as the update, right? When you say that event is created as well as the update, then if you restore back, once you restore back, if you are updating anything, then it might fire the time-dependent action. But if you say your event is fired only on the creation of the record, and during the creation of record, you are firing the immediate and time-dependent, then in that case, if you have deleted the record and restoring, it won't be restoring back to your time-dependent. In that case, what you need to do is change the created event to the created, and every time it is edited. Every time it is edited. Change that the action, whether it is a workflow or a process builder, both the ways we have it. So if it is a workflow, in the workflow, we have an option whenever you are creating it, you have an option, it says new position record. Now click on the edit option here. It has a evaluation rule created. So whenever you say created, restoring does not help. Created and every time edited, maybe that time dependent might pass. Even in the process builder also, whenever you are creating the process builder, that time what will happen? It is going to ask you that it is going to ask you the whether it is a created or a edited. Created or edited. If you say edited, it might fire it. Clear, Sunita? Okay. Now take a homework. This is the homework. Configure a process builder on the account object. Whenever the account is created, at the same time, we have to create at least one contact record. Create a related contact record. Now, how you are going to create a contact record? Select the account industry equal to banking, active equal to yes. These two are the criteria. And while creating it, what you need to mention here, contact last name equal to account name, contact business phone equal to contact account phone, contact account name equal to account ID. So how you will be doing it? Now let's say here's this one work. Now let me create a new one, new all process, create a new. Create contact on creation of account. Right, so selected when the record is changed, click on save. Your object should be an account. Your object should be an account on creation of the account. Now here criteria is, you need to check the criteria here. Account industry. Account industry choose equal to banking. And then you need to check here if your account is active. If your account is active, that means active, choose pick list value equal to S. Is account active? If it is active, then immediate action is create a contact. For creating a contact here, you have an option here, create a record. What is the record type you are choosing it and creating the contact. Search here, record type is contact. Now you say here last name is mandatory. Last name get it from the field reference. What is the field reference here? Account name. Take the field reference account name. So you have a contact last name equal to account name. Contact last name equal to account name. Similarly, contact, let's say business phone number. Contact business phone number equal to does not work here. We have to take the field reference. Field reference is account phone number. Account phone number. Click on it, choose. Now here, next one is a account name. On the contact, you have a account ID equals to what are the field references there? Take the field reference. Here you can add the account ID. Now here it is the account ID, choose it account ID. For example, here phone, okay. Now you wanted to check if the account phone is not equal to null, then only you wanted to add the details. Right? In that case, what you can do is go for a formula field. Click on here formula field, select the field, account, phone, choose. Now here you need to say function. Now the logical, in the logical, let's say if condition, choose the if condition, if logical test is account phone number, account phone number. Now this phone number is not equal to null. If phone number is not equal to null, again go to the function here, logical. You have something called choose the not, right? Not, and within this not blank. Logical is blank, right? So within this you need to specify the account phone. If it is not equal to null, control S is blank. Is if it is not blank, then get me the account phone. Otherwise, display the some random number 0000. Right? Use this formula. As soon as I say this, use this formula. This is what will happen. Now this business phone equal to, you will get it if the account phone is not equal to null, you will be able to capture the phone number. If it is equal to null, it will always capture the 00. Right? So this is how it will be there. Fine, this is the homework. Take a notes of it. Take a notes of it, then we will cover. Now, whatever the limits are there, only workflow, same limits gets applied, right? So, first of all, there are some considerations which we have to take whenever we are implementing the process builder. As per the standard Gartner limits, you can create a 50 process builders. 50, but in the real time, we should go with only one active process builder. Only one active process builder. Do not create a more than one active process builder per object. Because you are making the system so complicated if you are creating a more than one. If you are creating a more than one, you are making it as a more complicated. So sometimes what happens is the first thing is that we need to be very careful whenever we are implementing the process builder. So be careful with while creating the process builder. While creating the process builder, we have to make sure that the process are not going into the loop. Sometimes, most of the times, we write a process builder and we implement a workflows, we implement other actions. So what will happen is it goes sometimes infinite loop. So you need to always check the process builder with multiple records. Whenever you are inserting a multiple records, how your process builder is performing it. The testing is very important. And whenever you are creating the process builder, the name of the process builder, what are the name you are giving here? The process builder name. While creating the process builder, right, you specify this process name. This process name has to be within the 255 characters, not more than 255 characters. The process name must be within the 255 characters. Process name must be within the 255 characters. But it is allowing the 255 characters, but the API name, if you look at the API name will not take the 255 characters. API name only limit is a 77 characters, 77 characters for the API limit. Though you are adding the 255 characters in the process name, but API limit, it will automatically cut that description as soon as it reaches the API, the 77 characters. Right? Now, here we have a multiple nodes are available. Multiple nodes, if else, multiple nodes are there. Now, how many nodes can I create it? In a single process builder, how many nodes, if else nodes, how many can I create it? Maximum as per the Gartner limits, you can create a 2000 criteria. Maximum of 2000 criteria nodes. And this criteria nodes should be associated for the single object. This is for single object. Right? Now, how many process builders can be created per object? You can create active process per object is 50. You can create 50 active process builder per object, but do not go for it. I would suggest do not take this. Gartner limit says that, but only one active only one active process builder should be present per object. Only one active process builder. If you want to go for it, like if you have a different actions, if you want to perform different, maximum you can go for a 3, but do not go for more than 3. Whatever the limit it says, that forget about, but do not go for more than 3 process builder. If you go more than 3 process builder, you are making the system so complicated. Do not do that. And so these are the couple of Garner limits which we have to remember while implementing the process builder. And for the organization wise, I'll say here one active per object, active process builder per object, but organization wise is you can create a 500 process builders. In organization. No, process builder jobs are not a bad jobs. Bad job is different, process builder job is different. This is in my previous batch also they asked same question. It's not the same, both are different. Process builder, it's not a job, okay? It's not a job, this is not a job. It's a action, automation tool that gets executed. It's not a job at all. It definitely there will be a background, it is running it, right? But I cannot call it as a bad job. I cannot call it as a bad job. Bad job is where it is scheduled on particular time and it is going to execute the multiple records at the same time. So it's not a bad job. So another homework, configure a process builder on the position object to notify the HR upon creating a new position record in the object with the position status equal to new. Position status equal to new. This is another homework. Take a notes of it. Done. Next one, configure a process builder on the lead object to notify the lead person upon creating the new lead record with the banking industry and Hyderabad city. So basically you need to create a process builder on the lead object to notify the lead person whenever the new lead is recorded with the banking industry and the city is Hyderabad. My voice City is Hyderabad. This is another assignment. So here you need to check email ID is not equal to null. Here you will be using the global constant. Industry equal to banking. Right. So these are the conditions that you need to cross verify as well as you need to check the city equal to Hyderabad. So these 3 conditions you need to cross verify. taking notes of it. Done? Okay. Next, we have a automation tool differences. We will see that tomorrow. So that's all for today's session.